ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ನಮಸ್ತೆ everybody. I am Rajesh S. Rajigatta, working as Assistant Professor in Commerce, Government First Aid College, Doddaballapur, Bengaluru District. In this video session, let us understand a few things about cash flow analysis. At the outset, let me acknowledge my sincere thanks and gratitude to my Department of Collegiate Education, DCE, Government of Karnataka, and to my parents, my teachers, student friends, colleagues, and my family members. Cash flow analysis is made by preparing a cash flow statement. Here, flow means change or movement. Therefore, cash flow means change or movement in cash position of a business unit between two consecutive accounting periods. Cash flow statement, therefore, is a financial statement that reveals the amount of cash and cash equivalents moving into and moving out of a business. It is well known that a balance sheet on a particular date provides a static summary of assets owned and liabilities owed and capital structure of a business unit. The statement of profit and loss or an income statement, on the other hand, furnishes the summary information about operational activities and their net results, that is profit or loss of a firm during a particular period. But several changes take place in assets, capital, liabilities, revenues, and expenses in between two accounting periods. Further, in some companies, in spite of measurable profits, the business might be facing liquidity problems due to low balance of cash and cash equivalents. The study of such changes or position is of immense importance to all stakeholders in general and to management in particular in understanding, evaluating, and interpreting the financial strength of the concern. Therefore, balance sheet and statement of profit and loss have to be further analyzed in the light of changes that have taken place in between two accounting periods. So, statement of changes in financial position is prepared to examine the movement or change in funds of a business, showing the sources and application of funds. Popularly, there are two such statements, namely fund flow statement and cash flow statement. Fund flow statement is based on broader concept of funds, that is net working capital, and cash flow statement is based on narrower and very essential important concept of fund, that is cash. Cash flow statement throws light on liquidity, that is short-term paying capacity position of a concern. It is very much useful in short-term and long-term financial planning or cash budgeting. It helps in analyzing working capital position, provides the details of sources through which cash and cash equivalents are generated and applications or uses to which cash has been spent, and reveals the optimum level of cash balance to be maintained in the business. Therefore, cash flow statement is an analytical statement which summarizes the sources and the uses of cash and cash equivalents of a business firm during a particular period. It reports movement, that is, receipts and payments of cash on various activities classified according to major business activities of the firm, namely operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities. The CFS, cash flow statement, explains the reasons for changes in cash position of a firm. Cash flow statement is prepared with the following objectives. First one is to identify the sources of cash. Second one, to identify the applications or uses of cash. And third one is to ascertain the net changes in cash position over a period of 2 accounting periods. Cash flow statement has been regarded as an important statement to be published for all the stakeholders, and therefore it has been standardized by the Accounting Standards Board. AS3 or Accounting Standard 3 deals with the preparation of cash flow statement. The standard is mandatory for level 1 enterprises in respect of accounting periods commencing on or after 1st April 2004. All listed companies in India are required by clause 32 of the listing agreements with the stock exchanges to prepare and present cash flow statement by indirect method in accordance with Accounting Standard 3. Now, after the introduction of IFRS, Accounting Standard 3 has been replaced as IND AS 7. Let us understand the meaning of the term cash for cash flow statement. Cash for the purpose of cash flow statement means cash in hand and cash at bank, that is, deposits with any bank repayable on demand or with other financial institutions, and it also includes cash equivalents, which are short-term, highly liquid investments that are readily convertible into known amounts of cash and are subject to insignificant risk or change in value. The investments which are convertible into cash immediately and without any risk of loss are called as cash equivalents. They will be converted into cash within 90 days of time. Examples: treasury bills, commercial papers, marketable securities, short-term or current investments, etc. Meaning of the term cash flow, as already stated, cash flow means movement or change in cash position. It represents inflow and outflow of cash and cash equivalents. Movement within cash or cash equivalents are not cash flows, as these components are part of cash management and do not change the meaning of cash as stated under AS3, that is, deposit of cash into bank or withdrawal of cash from bank or sale of short-term investments or investing cash in short-term investments do not result in flow of cash. They are movements within cash or cash equivalents and therefore cannot be called as cash flow. Transactions which results in an increase in cash are termed as cash inflows or source of cash, and transactions which result in a decrease in cash are termed as cash outflows or application of cash. The following are important sources of cash: issue of shares, both equity shares and preference shares along with the security premium, issue of debentures, and rising of long-term loans from financial institutions and banks, etc. Sale of long-term investments like sale of shares held in other companies, sale of debentures held in other companies, sale of government securities, and sale of other fixed assets like machinery, furniture, plant, building, etc. Then cash from operating activities is another important source of cash. Then interests and dividends received on investments in other financial institutions and business houses, and decrease in cash. These are important major sources of cash. Similarly, the major applications of cash include repayment or redemption of preference shares, redemption of debentures, and repayment of long-term loans. Purchase of investments, that is purchase of government securities, purchase of shares in other companies, purchase of debentures in other companies, investment in subsidiaries, etc. Amounts to application of cash. Then purchase of fixed assets like purchase of machinery, purchase of plant, purchase of building also results in outflow of cash. Payment of tax, payment of interest and dividends on shares and debentures of the company, and increase in cash are major applications of cash. Types of cash flows. Cash flow statement should report cash flows during a particular period according to Accounting Standard 3 or Ind AS 7. The classification of cash flows should provide such information which may help the stakeholders to assess the impact of such flows on the financial position of the enterprise as well as on the financial health of the stakeholders themselves. Therefore, as per Accounting Standard 3 or presently Ind AS 7, cash flows are classified into three broad groups, three major categories, namely cash flow from operating activities, cash flow from investing activities, and cash flow from financing activities. Let us understand what are operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities one by one. Cash flow from operating activities is the cash generated or spent, inflow of cash or outflow of cash, on operational activities or on other activities that are not investing or financing activities. If we cannot clearly state such cash flows as investing cash flows or financing cash flows, then such cash flows are also will be included under operating activities. Operating activities are the principal revenue generating activities of an enterprise and include other activities that are not investing or financing activities. Examples of operating cash flows include cash receipts or cash inflow from sale of goods or services, cash receipts from royalties, fees, commission and other revenue, cash payment, that is outflow of cash to suppliers of goods and services for purchase of goods and services, cash payment to and on behalf of employees, like salaries, wages, allowances, perquisites, etc. to employees. Cash receipts and cash payments of an insurance company for premiums and claims, annuities and other policy benefits. It relates to insurance business. Cash payments are refunds of income taxes unless they can be specifically identified with financing and investing activities. Then cash receipts and payments relating to future contracts, forward contracts, option contracts and swap contracts when the contracts are held for dealing or trading purposes. It is in the case of speculative business in share or stock exchanges. The amount of cash flows from operating activities is a key indicator of the extent to which the operations of the enterprise have generated sufficient cash flows to maintain the operating capability of the enterprise, to pay dividends or repay loans, and to make new investments without dependency on external sources of financing. Second category of cash flow is cash flow from investing activities. It is the cash flow generated by or spent on investment activities. It is the investment made by the business concern in government securities, shares and debentures of other companies, or in subsidiary companies. The investing activities relate to the acquisition and disposal of long-term assets and other investments not included in cash equivalents. Investment in treasury bills, investment in commercial papers, investment in short-term investments are not to be treated as investing activities because they are of cash equivalent nature. We can provide the following examples of investing cash flows. That is, cash payments to acquire fixed assets, including intangibles like goodwill, etc. Cash receipts from sale of fixed assets, including sale of intangibles like sale of goodwill, etc. Cash payments to purchase shares, warrants, or debt instruments of other enterprises and interests in joint ventures, etc. Next one is cash receipts from disposal, that is sale of shares, warrants, or debt instruments of other enterprises and interests in joint ventures, etc. Next is cash advances and loans made to third parties other than advances and loans of a financial enterprise. Then cash receipts from repayment of advances and loans made to third parties other than advances and loans of a financial enterprise. Next one is cash payments for future contracts, forward contracts, option contracts, and swap contracts, except when the contracts are held for dealing or trading purposes, or the receipts are classified as financing activities. And cash receipts from future contracts, forward contracts, option contracts, and swap contracts, except when the contracts are held for dealing or trading purposes, or the receipts are classified as financing activities. If these forward contracts, future contracts, option contracts are held for dealing or trading purposes, they will be taken under operating activities. Or if they are held as financing activities, then they will be classified under financing activities. If not, they will be taken under investing activities. The third type of cash flow is cash flow from financing activities. Cash flow from financing activities is the cash generated by or spent on financing activities. Any transaction which affects the total capitalization of the company or which impacts the capital structure of a business organization will be treated as cash flow from financing activity. Financing activities are activities that result in change in the size and structure of the owner's capital and outsiders' funds. Any transaction which results in increase in the total capitalization of a business concern, it will be treated as inflow of cash, and in turn, any transaction which results in decrease in total capitalization of a business concern, it will be treated as outflow of cash. Examples of financing activities include issue of shares, both equity shares and preference shares, issue of debentures, repayment or redemption of preference shares, repayment or redemption of debentures, payment of dividends on shares, and payment on interest on debentures or interest on long-term loans. Keep in mind, these interest or dividends paid by financial institutions will be treated as cash flow from operating activities and not cash flow from financing activities, because financial institutions hold these shares and debentures as trading assets and not as investments. Preparation of cash flow statement. We are moving towards the practical aspect of preparing a cash flow statement. According to Accounting Standard 3, the preparation of cash flow statement consists of 3 steps. Those 3 steps include determination of cash flows from operating activities, determination of cash flows from investing activities, and determination of cash flows from financing activities. Before preparing cash flow statement, we should clearly identify what are all the transactions which come under operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities, and then proceed to solve or prepare cash flow statement. Before elaborating on how cash flows from various activities are determined, let me clarify about the transactions which do not involve or do not result in cash flow. Cash flow statement records only those transactions which results in a movement in cash or change in cash position of the business. The change may be inflow of cash or outflow of cash. There are transactions like, for example, issue of shares for purchase of fixed assets, issue of shares for converting debentures, or issue of shares for payment of creditors, converting profits into bonus shares, conversion of preference shares into equity shares, etc., do not involve any cash flow. Therefore, such transactions which do not result in change in the cash position will not find place in the cash flow statement. With this backdrop, let me continue on how the cash flows from different activities are determined. First one, cash flows from operating activities can be determined by using either direct method or indirect method. Operating activities cash flows are determined by 2 methods. One is direct method and indirect method, but indirect method is popularly used and it is recognized legally. Let us have some understanding about both the methods. Direct method, under this method, cash from operating activities is determined by differentiating cash receipts from operating revenues and cash payments for operating activities. Under this method, cash flow from operating activities is determined as follows. Cash receipts from customers on sales or repayment of debts, that is cash received from debtors, will be taken. Cash paid to suppliers will be deducted. Cash paid to suppliers means cash paid on purchases, cash paid to creditors, cash paid to bills payables, etc. will be taken as a negative figure here. Cash paid to employees in the form of say salaries, wages, allowances, etc. will be again taken as outflow. Operational expenses, cash paid for operational expenses will be taken as outflow. Then adding them all these things, cash from operations will be computed. From this cash from operations, income tax paid will be deducted to find out cash flow before extraordinary items. In this session, we are not focusing on extraordinary items. There are some extraordinary items which will be taking place in the business, and those extraordinary items have to be adjusted accordingly by adding or deducting from cash flow before extraordinary items to find out net cash flow from operating activities. Popular and legally recognized method of determining cash flows from operating activities is indirect method. This method is also called reconciliation method, as we are going to readjust the items which have already been charged or recognized in profit and loss account to find out the real cash flows from operational activities. This method is widely used and popularly used in preparing cash flow statement. Under this method, the net cash flows from operating activities are determined by adjusting, that is reconciling, the net profits or loss for the effect of non-cash items like depreciation, preliminary expenses written off, goodwill written off, etc. Then adjustment will be made on changes in current assets like inventories, bills receivables, bills payables, creditors, etc., excepting cash equivalents, bank balance, and bank overdraft, and all other items for which the cash flows results in financing and investing cash flows. Those transactions which result in financing cash flow or investing cash flow should be excluded while finding out the cash flows from operating activities. A pro forma of cash flow from operating activities by indirect method is given here for your quick reference. It represents a model, and it may not provide complete information about the steps involved or the process of determining cash flow from operating activities. First, we have to consider net profit for the year. Keep in mind it is indirect method. Net profit for the year will be given, or it will be found out by comparing closing net profit and opening net profit when two balance sheets are given. Then adjustment for non-cash expenses will be made. Depreciation charge during the year will be added back. Fictitious assets written off during the year will be added back. Intangible assets written off will be added back. Loss on sale of assets will be added back. Provision for tax will be added back. Proposed dividend, if any, should be added back. Foreign exchange loss should also be added back. Keep in mind, if these are charged or debited to profits, then only these should be added back. If these items are not considered while calculating profits, then these adjustments are not required. Then adjustment for non-cash incomes have to be made by subtracting those incomes if they have been recognized in profit and loss account already. If dividend income has been already added to profits, then it should be deducted to find out operating activities cash flow. Interest income, if any, added should be deducted. Profit on sale of assets should be deducted to find out net profit after adjustment for non-cash items before adjustment of working capital changes. To this net profit after adjustment of non-cash items, we have to adjust changes in working capital. Keep in mind, working capital consists of current assets and current liabilities. While considering current assets and current liabilities, cash, bank cash equivalents and BOD, bank overdraft, should not be considered here. So increase in current assets have to be subtracted from net profit after non-cash items adjustment. Decrease in other current assets should be added back. Increase in current liabilities have to be added back. Decrease in current liabilities have to be subtracted to find out cash flows from operating activities. Increase in current assets have to be subtracted because, for example, increase in stock is assumed to be that much of stock has been purchased by paying cash. Increase in debtors, for example, results in outflow of notional cash in the form of goods towards our customers. So, in that sense, increase in current assets other than cash and other cash equivalents, etc., should be deducted from net profit. Again, decrease in other current assets. For example, if there is decrease in debtors, that means that much of cash has been received back from debtors. Therefore, it results in inflow of cash. Therefore, it should be added here. Increase in current liabilities. For example, increase in creditors results in inflow of cash in the form of goods. Goods purchased without paying cash, that is, goods purchased on credit basis, results in inflow of cash. Therefore, it will be added here. Again, decrease in current liabilities will be subtracted as outflow because, for example, if there is decrease in creditors, that much of cash has been paid to creditors to clear off the debts. Therefore, it results in outflow of cash. Therefore, such adjustments have to be made to net profit after adjustment for non-cash items to find out cash flows from operating activities. Then, tax paid has to be deducted. Observe here, provision for tax has to be added back first, then tax paid has to be deducted at the end to find out net cash flows from operating activities. Cash flows from investing activities are determined as follows. Proceeds from sale of fixed assets or sale of investments will be taken as a positive figure. Interest and dividends received on such investments will be taken as a positive figure, inflow. Then from these amounts spent on purchase of fixed assets or purchase of investments will have to be deducted as negative figures. Loans to subsidiaries provided have to be taken as outflow of cash to find out net cash flows from investing activities. The following statement sums up the three stages of determining cash flows and help us as a format for preparing cash flow statement as per indirect method. One thing has to be clarified here that the direct method or the indirect method applies to determine cash flows from operating activities only. Determination of cash flow from investing activities or cash flows from financing activities is same under both direct method and indirect method. Therefore, the format for preparing cash flow statement as per indirect method is given as observe the statement. This statement summarizes net cash flows from operating activities as per point A, net cash flows from investing activities as per point B, net cash flows from financing activities as per point C, and these items are taken on the outer column and summed up to find out net increase or net decrease in cash and cash equivalents during that particular period. Observe A plus B plus C represents the net increase or net decrease in cash and cash equivalents. This amount will be reconciled with the opening balance of cash and cash equivalents to find closing balance of cash and cash equivalents. Please write down this statement somewhere for your quick reference while preparing or solving cash flow statement problems. We shall work out some simple problems on cash flows from operating activities, cash flows from investing activities, and cash flows from financing activities separately, and then proceed to prepare cash flow statements comprehensively. The first problem says, you are given below the profit and loss account of Subiksha Limited for the year ended 31st March 2019. Information is given. Revenue from operations rupees 30 lakhs. From that, operating expenses rupees 23 lakhs have been deducted. These operating expenses also consist of depreciation rupees 2 lakhs. That 7 lakhs have been named as net profit before tax. To that, profit on sale of investments rupees 2 lakhs have been added to find out the total profits 9 lakhs. Out of this 9 lakhs, 3 lakhs have been provided for tax purpose to have rupees 6 lakhs as net profit after taxes. Additional information is given. First information says, included in operating expenses is loss on sale of buildings rupees 70,000. Second one, actual taxes paid for the year amounts to rupees 1,50,000. Current assets and current liabilities balances on opening date and closing date are given. Trade debtors rupees 2,50,000 and 1,80,000 respectively. Inventory rupees 1,68,000 and rupees 1,96,000 respectively. Trade creditors rupees 1,80,000 and rupees 1,40,000 respectively. From this information, we are asked to compute cash from operating activities. Before proceeding to prepare cash from operating activities, let us analyze the problem. Revenue from operations is purely operating income, operational activities, therefore it should be considered. Operating expenses have to be deducted, but depreciation and loss on sale of buildings are included in operating expenses. These two items represents non-cash item in the form of depreciation or in the form of loss on sale of buildings. No cash will be moving out of the business. Therefore, they should be added back to find out cash from operating activities. Then actual taxes paid for the year rupees 1,50,000 is given. This should be considered, and provision for tax is only appropriation of profit. Therefore, rupees 3 lakhs has to be added back to net profit after taxes to find out cash from operating activities. Next is profit on sale of investments are given. Profit on sale of investments are again non-operating incomes. Then therefore they have to be deducted while finding out cash from operating activities from net profit after taxes. Then working capital changes, that is current assets and current liabilities are given. They are varying. Trade debtors are decreasing. That means 2,50,000 worth of opening balance has come down to rupees 1,80,000 at the end of the year. Therefore, 70,000 rupees have been received from trade debtors. Therefore, it should be added to find out cash from operating activities. Inventories are increasing. That it is presumed that much of stock have been purchased by paying cash. Therefore, it should be deducted. Trade creditors are decreasing. That means trade creditors have been paid out of cash. Therefore, that is the difference 40,000 has to be deducted from net profit before working capital changes to find out cash from operating activities. Let us prepare a statement showing cash flow from operating activities. First of all, take net profit after tax for the year, rupees 6 lakhs. Keep in mind we are preparing this statement using indirect method. Therefore, we are starting from net profit after tax at the end of the year. To this, adjustment for non-cash expenses have to be made, that is expenses which do not result in outflow of cash but charged in profit and loss account have to be added back again. So amounts of depreciation rupees 2 lakhs, loss on sale of building rupees 70,000 and provision for tax have to be added back to net profit after tax. Then adjustment for non-cash income, as we discussed while analyzing the problem. Non-cash income is profit on sale of investments that has to be deducted, subtracted from net profit. It will not result in operating income. Profit on sale of investments is not an operational activity. Therefore, that profit is already added to find out profit after tax for the year. Therefore, to find out cash flows from operating activities, the amount has to be deducted from the net profit. So it amounts to 9,70,000. Operating profit before working capital changes, before current assets, changes in current assets and current liabilities amounts to rupees 9,70,000. In cash flow statements, negative values are written in parentheses, that is in brackets. So whenever items or amounts are given in brackets, you should treat it as a negative item. Then the working capital changes have to be adjusted here. Decrease in trade debtors rupees 70,000, decrease in current assets, increases cash, therefore added. Then increase in inventory, that is increase in current assets, decreases cash, therefore it has to be subtracted. Again, decrease in current liabilities decreases cash, therefore it has to be deducted, subtracted to find out cash flow from operating activities. So working out, it amounts to 9,72,000. 9,70,000 plus 70,000 minus 28,000 minus 40,000 amounts to 9,72,000. It is before considering tax. From this amount, deduct tax paid rupees 1,50,000 to find out net cash flows from operating activities. This is how cash flows from operating activities are computed. Pause this video and write down if you are not following me. Let us solve another problem. X Limited had a profit of rupees 2,15,000 for the year ended 31st March 2020 after considering the following. Depreciation on building rupees 23,000, depreciation on plant and machinery rupees 9,000, goodwill written off rupees 5,000, loss on sale of machinery rupees 2,000. Following was the position of current assets and current liabilities of the company for the years ending 31st March 19 and 2020. Opening balances and closing balances of current assets and current liabilities are given. Stock rupees 60,000 and rupees 75,000 respectively. Cash rupees 75,000 and rupees 60,000 respectively. Debtors rupees 45,000 and rupees 37,000 respectively. Creditors rupees 35,000 and rupees 40,000 respectively. Outstanding rent rupees 5,000 and rupees 3,000 respectively. Bills payable rupees 30,000 and rupees 25,000 respectively. Bills receivable rupees 45,000 and rupees 53,000 respectively. opening balances and closing balances. From this, calculate cash flow from operating activities. So you should have knowledge about what are all the items which fall under current assets and which fall under current liabilities. And while preparing operating activities cash flows, determining operating cash flows, please keep in mind cash should not be considered as current asset. Cash and cash equivalents should not be considered as current assets. Let us the statement of cash flow from operating activities resembles like this. Consider net profit for the year given as rupees 2,15,000. To this, adjust non-cash expenses, add back the non-cash expenses which do not result in outflow of cash but debited in profit and loss account. They include depreciation on building rupees 23,000, depreciation on plant and machinery rupees 9,000, goodwill written off rupees 5,000. These goodwill written off, depreciation, etc. are bookish entries. Then loss on sale of machinery rupees 2,000 has to be added back to find out operating profit before working capital changes. Then here we have to adjust for current changes in current assets and current liabilities. Keep in mind, increase in current assets decreases cash, decrease in current assets increases cash. On the other hand, increase in current liabilities increases cash, decrease in current liabilities decreases cash. Keeping in that mind, decrease in debtors have to be added rupees 8,000, increase in creditors rupees 5,000 has to be added, then increase in stock rupees 15,000 has to be deducted, decrease in outstanding rent rupees 2,000 has to be deducted, decrease in bills payable rupees 5,000 has to be deducted. Similarly, increase in bills receivable rupees 8,000 has to be deducted to find out net cash flows from operating activities. Working out, adding and subtracting the amounts, we get 2,37,000 as net cash flows from operating activities. Let us work out another problem, problem number 3. From the following information, calculate cash from operating activities. The information is given. Surplus account on 31st/3/2020 rupees 5,50,000, that is closing surplus account. Surplus account on 1/4/2019 opening balance rupees 8 lakhs. Amount transferred to general reserve rupees 50,000. Dividend paid rupees 1 lakh. Income tax provision made rupees 80,000. Discount on shares written off rupees 10,000. Outstanding expenses on 31st/3/2020 rupees 25,000. Depreciation charged during the year rupees 50,000. Prepaid expenses on 1/4/2019 8,000. Accrued income on 31st/3/2020 rupees 10,000. Income of 2019-20, that is present year, received in advance in 2018-19, that is previous year, 5,000. Profit on sale of machinery rupees 2,000. Loss on sale of furniture rupees 1,000. Income on investments rupees 4,000. So please observe the dates, and they are either opening balances or closing balances. If opening balances are given, closing balances are not given. Closing balances are given, opening balances are not given. So how these items have to be treated in while calculating cash flow from operating activities is the main theme of this problem. So while analyzing the problem itself, you decide what are all the items that have to be added and what are all the items that have to be deducted, so that it will be easier for you to proceed. So calculation of cash flows from operating activities in this problem. The problem says surplus account as on 31st/3/2020 is rupees 5,50,000 and surplus account as on 1/4/2019 rupees 8 lakhs. So opening balance of surplus account and closing balance of surplus account is given in the problem. Therefore, we have to compare them to find out what is the real profit or loss during the year. Therefore, consider profit and loss account or surplus account on 31st/3/2020, rupees 5,50,000. Compare it with the opening balance as on 1/4/2019, rupees 8 lakhs. Comparing them, we observe that the profits have declined during the year, and there is loss of rupees 2,50,000 for the year. So as usual, adjustment for non-cash expenses have to be made. First information is transfer to general reserve. Transfer to general reserve is an appropriation of profit, and it won't result in outflow of cash. Therefore, it should be added back. Then dividend paid is an item of financing activity that will be considered under financing activity and not in operating activities. Therefore, it has to be added back. Then income tax provision, it is an appropriation of profit, therefore added back. Discount on shares written off, non-cash item. Fictitious assets written off. This item is said to be fictitious asset, therefore added back. Then depreciation, as already discussed, there is no outflow of cash in the form of depreciation, therefore it should be added back. Then loss on sale of furniture or loss on sale of fixed assets, no flow of cash out, therefore added back. Then similarly, adjustment for non-cash incomes, if any, have to be given. They have to be subtracted from the loss or profit of the year. So profit on sale of machinery, rupees 2,000 is given in the problem, that has to be subtracted. Income from investments, rupees 4,000 is given, this item is also to be deducted to find out actual cash flows from operating activities. So we are getting rupees 35,000 as operating profit before working capital changes, before considering changes in current assets and current liabilities. Operating profit amounts to rupees 35,000. Take 2,50,000 as minus figure, and then add all the items and deduct the minus figures to get 35,000 as operating profit before working capital changes. Now adjust the changes in current assets and current liabilities. First consider adding items. Increase in outstanding expenses, rupees 25,000. How this amounts to addable item? In the problem, it is given outstanding expense as on 31st/3/2020, rupees 25,000. That means outstanding expenses closing balance is given, but outstanding expenses opening balances are not given. So it can be assumed that outstanding expenses have been created during the year worth rupees 25,000, and outstanding expenses are part of current liabilities. Increase in current liabilities increases cash, therefore it has been added over here. Next one is decrease in prepaid expenses, rupees 8,000. Why decrease? In the problem, it is given prepaid expenses on 1/4/2019, that is opening balance rupees 8,000. There is no mention about closing balance of prepaid expenses. Therefore, we can assume that no prepaid expenses exists on the closing date. So it is 0. Therefore, 8,000 worth of prepaid expenses have been decreased. Prepaid expenses is part of current asset. Decrease in current asset results in increase in cash. Therefore, it should be added. Next, deducting items. Increase in accrued income. Accrued income in the problem, it is given as rupees 10,000 on 31st/3/2020. Closing balance of accrued income, rupees 10,000 is given. Opening balance is not given. Accrued income is part of current asset. Increase in current asset decreases cash, therefore it has to be deducted while finding out cash flow from operating activities. Next item is decrease in advance income, that is income of present year received in advance in the previous year, rupees 5,000 is given. So income in advance during the previous year will be recorded in books of accounts as current liability. So decrease in current liability decreases cash, therefore this item has been subtracted while calculating cash flows from operating activities. No tax paid information is given, therefore final amount is treated as net cash flows from operating activities. It amounts to rupees 53,000. If you are writing this solution, please pause the video and write down. Problem number 4. Calculate cash from operating activities from the following data. 2 years are given, 2019 and 2020. Opening balance and closing balances are given. Particulars: profit and loss account rupees 80,000 and 1 lakh. Bills receivables rupees 25,000 and rupees 30,000. Provision for depreciation rupees 42,000 and 46,000. Outstanding salary rupees 20,000 and rupees 25,000. Prepaid rent rupees 15,000 and rupees 16,000. Goodwill rupees 40,000 and rupees 30,000. Stock rupees 39,000 and rupees 42,000 respectively on opening date and closing date. The solution: as opening profit and loss account and closing profit and loss account information is given, compare them. First you take closing profit and loss account as on 2020, 1 lakh rupees. Compare it with opening balance as on 2019, rupees 80,000. The difference gives you the positive figure, therefore it is considered as profit for the year. Then usual adjustments for non-cash expenses have to be made. In the problem it is given provision for depreciation rupees 46,000 and 42,000. Therefore 42,000 opening balance and 46,000 closing balance. There is increase of rupees 4,000 in provision for depreciation, so that has to be added back. Then goodwill written off rupees 10,000 is there. Goodwill difference of rupees 10,000 is there, therefore it should be treated as written off, and while calculating cash flows from operating activities we have to add back that item. Then it gives the operating profit before working capital changes rupees 34,000. Adjust the changes in current assets and current liabilities. There is increase in outstanding salary. Outstanding salary is an item of current liability. Increase in current liability increases cash, therefore add rupees 5,000 to profits. Then increase in bills receivables are there. So bills receivables is part of current asset. Increase in current asset decreases cash, therefore deducted 5,000 rupees minus figure. Then increase in prepaid rent. Prepaid rent is an item of current asset, therefore increase in current asset has to be deducted rupees 1,000 outflow. Then increase in stock is there, 3,000 rupees, that has also be, stock is an item of current asset. Increase in current asset has to be deducted as outflow of cash. Then the net result is rupees 30,000 net cash flows from operating activities. As there is no tax paid information, the final answer is net cash flows from operating activities rupees 30,000. Pause it and write down. So try this problem on your own. All these items have been discussed in previous problems. It will boost your confidence if you do this problem on your own. So if you are writing it, pause the video and take down all the things and then solve. The final answer should be rupees 2,50,000. Net cash flows from operating activities should be 2,50,000. Okay. Pause it and write down. Worked problem number 5. Let us work out one problem on cash flow from investing activities. From the following data, calculate cash flows from investing activities. It is given issue of share capital rupees 2 lakhs. Plant and machinery as on 31st March 2019 6 lakhs. Plant and machinery as on 31st March 2020 rupees 7 lakh 50,000. Depreciation charged on plant and machinery rupees 60,000. Plant and machinery having book value of rupees 30,000 sold for rupees 22,000. Investment purchased rupees 80,000. Shares subscribed in A Limited rupees 1 lakh. Debentures held in B Limited sold rupees 50,000. This is the problem. If you are writing down, pause the video and write down. Let us analyze the problem. We are asked to calculate cash flow from investing activities. So first item says issue of share capital. Issue of share capital amounts to financing activity. Therefore, it should not be considered here. Plant and machinery information is given as opening balance and closing balance. Depreciation item is given, and some plant and machinery worth rupees 30,000 have been sold during the year for rupees 22,000. And then investment purchased is given rupees 80,000. This amounts to cash outflow on purchase of investment. It is an investment activity. Shares subscribed in A Limited. There is difference between issue of share capital and shares subscribed in some other company. If you are subscribing shares in other company, it amounts to investment activity. If you are issuing your own share capital or debenture capital, it amounts to financing activity. You are taking funds from outside into your company. You are raising the capital. In such a case, it amounts to financing. If you are having excess amount, excess cash, and using that cash to invest outside in any business organization, it amounts to investment. And next one is debentures held in B Limited sold rupees 50,000. Again, it amounts to investments in another company sold. So sale of investments. Therefore, it is an item of investing activity. So to find out what is the net result in plant and machinery, we have to prepare a plant and machinery account for the year. Let us do it and find out what is the net effect of plant and machinery during the year. Then we can find out cash flow from investing activities. Plant and machinery account from 1/3/19 to 31st/3/2020. Opening balance rupees 6 lakhs. It is given plant worth rupees 30,000. Book value has been sold during the year for rupees 22,000. Book value means it is not cost value. It is the value after deducting depreciation to the date. After deducting accumulated depreciation on that asset is the amount of book value. So that rupees 30,000 worth book valued plant and machinery was sold during the year for rupees 22,000. If we are selling 30,000 worth of an asset at rupees 22,000, it results in a loss of rupees 8,000. That has to be accounted in the books of account. Therefore, it has to be transferred to profit and loss account as loss on sale rupees 88,000. Then depreciation on plant and machinery charged is given. So it has also be transferred or debited to profit and loss account rupees 60,000. Then record the closing balance. Closing balance is given as 7,50,000. No other item relating to plant and machinery is given. So balance the account. So credit side is more. It amounts to 8,40,000. Take it into debit side. total amount 8,40,000. Find the difference. 2,40,000 is the difference. That 2,40,000 has to be assumed that purchases made during the year. So it can be taken as 2 cash account or 2 bank account, as the case may be, as balancing figure. That means by preparing plant and machinery account, we found that plant worth rupees 2,40,000 have been purchased during the year. Now let us find out cash flows from investing activities. Sale of plant and machinery is given 22,000. You should not take 30,000. Actual cash received on sale of any fixed asset has to be taken as a cash flow from investing activity. Then plant and machinery purchased worth rupees 2,40,000. This amount has been found out by preparing plant and machinery account as above. So that has to be recorded as outflow figure, as a negative figure. 2,40,000 is flowing out. Then purchase of investment is given in the problem, rupees 80,000. If we are purchasing, cash is going out, therefore it should be taken as negative figure. Then subscription of shares in A Limited, again you are purchasing shares in another company, therefore outflow of cash will be there, therefore it should be recorded as negative item. Then debentures in B Limited sold. If you are selling debentures as investment in another company, then you will be receiving cash out of that sale. Therefore, it has to be recorded as positive figure, 50,000 as inflow of cash. So totaling them up, we get net cash flow from investing activities as 3,48,000 negative figure. That is, there is net outflow of cash on investing activities. So in the same way, let us have a problem on financing activity. From the following data, calculate cash flow from financing activities. Dates are given: opening date and closing date, 31st/3/19 and 31st/3/2020. Share capital rupees 3 lakhs and rupees 4,50,000. 10% debentures rupees 2 lakhs and rupees 1,50,000. Securities premium rupees 35,000 and rupees 48,000. Profit and loss account rupees 1,20,000 and 1,85,000. Shares in XYZ Limited 80,000 and rupees 1 lakh. Additional information says interest paid on debentures rupees 20,000. Here we are trying to find out cash flows from financing activities. Financing activities, again I am reiterating here, those transactions which will have impact on capital structure of a business or total capitalization of a business are termed as financing activities. So we have to find out what are all the cash inflows and cash outflows on financing activities. So here, analyzing the problem, share capital is given as 3 lakhs opening balance and 4,50,000 closing balance. We can assume that during the year 1,50,000 worth of share capital have been issued for cash. 10% debentures 2 lakh rupees and 1,50,000. So we can say that 50,000 worth of 10% debentures have been redeemed during the year through cash. Share securities premium 35,000 and 48,000. That 13,000 difference has to be assumed that received in terms of cash as security premium. Profit and loss account balance is given. This item nowhere affects the financing activity because it will be considered under cash flow from operating activities. Therefore, we should not consider while finding financing activities. Again, shares in XY Limited, it amounts to investment by this company in another company. Therefore, it will be considered under investment activities and not under financing activities. Interest paid on debentures rupees 20,000 is purely a financing activity. So, solution to find out cash flows from financing activities. Issue of share capital, it results in inflow of cash rupees 1,50,000, difference amount. Redemption of debentures, it results in outflow of cash rupees 50,000, negative figure, outflow of cash. Then proceeds from securities premium, 13,000, difference is there. So it has to be assumed that received in terms of cash, 13,000 positive figure. Then interest paid during the year on debentures, rupees 20,000, it results in outflow of cash under financing activity. So these are the 4 items which comes under financing activities out of the given problem. So final amount is 93,000 positive figure, net cash flow from financing activities. Net cash inflow from financing activities is rupees 93,000. As the size of this video is becoming larger, I am pausing here, stopping here, and remaining comprehensive problems on preparation of cash flow statement will be discussed in part 2. So, signing out, Rajesh S. Rajgatta. We can meet again in part 2, problems on cash flow statement.